All right, so this week on the Agent Traction Call, and to be honest, I know you're just going in listen mode, but you're welcome to jump in on anything here. This is actually a little bit inspired by something Michael Henry posted in one of the Facebook groups. So Michael, thank you for posting that, because I hadn't seen those particular PDFs. And if you guys, I want to make sure we all have a list, a combined list of other resources that we should be sharing right now, because there's a statistic you may or may not remember. I mean, maybe you've never even heard it. From the time somebody watches their first EXP video, like the model explained, or maybe it's not they're watching a video, maybe they're having their first conversation. And this is just an informal poll, but for most of the leaders in EXP, I keep hearing the same thing over the last year. How many touches do you guys think it takes, if you've heard before, if you have a guess, between when someone watches their first video before they actually join the company? Anyone know how many touches?
14 months.
I had 14. What'd you say, Jason?
I said 18 months.
18 months? Okay, so in terms of number of touches, the number that I always hear from when they actually sit down to watch a video, Theodis, you got a guess? You want to play? You're on mute, hold on. Go for it.
10.
10. Okay, he's got 10. I always hear it's between 6 to 7 from when the time they actually sit down and show interest in the video. But that means there's some people that are significantly higher, right? And there's some that are lower. And so the number of touches by NAR, when they say in terms of general recruitment, from someone just to switch, when you start trying to recruit someone when they switch brokerages, is that 12 to 14 number, right? So typically you're making a number of touches with someone prior to them even sitting down to watching a video. So you start, now you guys, I can see all going through your head, the people you've talked to, is this number right, is this number wrong? I have no idea. This is just an informal number. You guys all got your own. Jason's laughing, right? It's about, guys, just know though, it takes multiple touches, and it gets kind of old sending the same thing over and over again. Anyone else feel like that? Like, I don't know what, I mean, some of you haven't been with EXP that long, but you've probably still even hit that point where you've been following up with people, following up, you're like, I don't know what else to say to this person. So Michael put in the EXP Pros group. I'm going to share it on the screen here so you can see it, but it's in the Facebook group EXP Pros. I believe you guys are all part of that. We've always had the ability to share my screen. All right. So we have always had the ability to give agents access to EXP World. That's nothing new, right? We've always had the access to allow them to sit in and take training classes. However, I love the way this is framed up, which is, if you look at the screen there, they created this thing called the Excel Initiative. So they actually made a special series of training classes, which are meant for us guys, the actual agents at EXP. Some of you might not even know about this. You got to watch the announcements in the EXP World, but there's a whole series of training classes. Oh, this is for the agents. Let me pull up the one for the, guess. So I love this one here for guess. This is the Excel series. This is talking about ways to change your business in a market shift. So all of us get training from different places. A lot of us are in Club Wealth coaching. A lot of us are in, some of us in other coaching programs. Some of us are in different Facebook groups. This is an actual EXP series, which is great because it gives EXP credibility. And some of the people you guys are talking to in the regular world, they're not part of these coaching programs, right? We just assume, because we come from a background where we've been surrounded by various organizations, that you know agents that don't get this sort of training at the same level all the time. You take for granted the amount of information that you're consuming on a regular basis. I almost guarantee it. So Michael, when you posted this, like, oh, this is brilliant. I love it. So you can, hey, when you're reaching out to people, hey, we got a special series of training classes. They're open to any agent in any company. You're welcome to take them virtually. You can take them anonymously. No one needs to know you're there. But check out, these are a whole series of classes designed to what to do with your business in the shift. Get them into EXP World. Anyone have questions on this? Do you guys like this idea?
Yeah, I feel like it gives us a way to just reconnect with some of those people. We've had the conversations. It's kind of left like, yeah, I'm going to join eventually. It's just a matter of time. And they got X, Y, and Z reasons I'm waiting. Well, just here's another reason to reach out to them and just say, hey, there's a new program.
Yep.
Yeah, we can give you essentially 60 days in EXP World. It explains right on the form how you can, set it up so you're anonymous with a different last name if you want, and take advantage of all this free training.
Yeah. And if you want to make it more interactive, you could jump on and say, hey, let's look at the list of classes together. Like, I'm just curious to see if any of these even sound interesting to you, right? jump on Zoom, share your screen, look at them. And then if you want to get to the whole thing, you know, the idea of always set your next step, heck, pick a class, go take it with them. Get them into EXP World, get them signed up, go take a class together. But it literally could be as simple, like you said, Michael, of just putting together, oh, thank you, Dax. My son just brought me my watch, which was lost. Oh, there, you see it? There it is. All right. But it's one of those just nice ways just to give you an excuse to check in. Did someone else want to chime in with a way to use it, Jason? Yeah,
I want to add to that because most of the people I've talked to are not looking for EXP to be a recruiting platform. Like, and that's how they see it. So I literally just had a conversation with a guy about 3 days ago. He's like, I'm not coming to EXP. All you guys do is recruit. And luckily somebody who he respects a lot sent him over to me. And I was like, dude, I don't recruit. He's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, I'm trying to produce $15-20 million a year in sales by myself. Like, I don't like recruiting is not my focus. And he goes, oh, well, what's going on? Because all I think is it's always the big teams that join because they have 10 people already in their downline from the start. They teach them to recruit, and that's their whole game. So I like the fact that we actually have something that's out there to say, hey, listen, we are not just about recruiting, even though that's what everybody's used to. This is what we do.
Right. Yep, I love it. Because that's the thing that I think you've probably heard a million times, Jason, but we're a real estate company first. Right? We're about working with buyers and sellers. We're a real estate company first. And no matter how many times you say that, people will come up with their own opinion, but it does shift that. Anyone else got something they want to add on this? I love using this thing. Like Theodis, for you, I was thinking, you know, a lot of your people in your sphere, you're so used to training them. Here's another training resource, right? Just make sure they know about it. Hey, we just want to let you know you got this option. If you want to get in on any of this training, I'll get you access. Totally anonymous.
I mean, I think it's great because there's a couple of agents that clearly don't have a brokerage to even keep them updated with how with the new COVID forms and best practices with our industry. So I think it's a great option that we're more than just a recruitment machine, and we actually educate and empower our agents to do business in any market.
Yep. Next item. I think, Darcy, you might have mentioned this one in one of the groups. This is about were you talking specifically about the SBA program, right? Some of the loans that are out there?
Yeah, so some of the loans that are out there, I've been reaching out to not only clients, because it's been good to mention this to clients that run businesses, but also other realtors, and saying, hey, I just want to make sure that you're aware of the different loans that are available for realtors that should be forgiven afterwards. If you're not aware of them, let me know. I'm happy to make stuff available for you guys.
Yep.
And they're like, wait, what? So
I mean, there's two options. They're either going to be like, I've never heard about that. What is this? You're awesome. Thanks for adding value. Or they say, totally got it. I'm on it. And then it gives you something to chat about.
exactly.
Like, cool, right? Are you going to a local bank? Are you walking in? Are you applying a line? What are you doing? You can chat about it. It's just a reason to reach out and connect, and you're offering value.
Yep. And my clients that I've mentioned it to, one of them was like, yep, did this yesterday, we're good. Another one was like, oh yeah, well, I'm not unemployed, so I don't have that. And I'm like, whoa, there's other stuff out there. So I made him aware of it, and he's thrilled now. And he's like, hey, I've got a few people that I meant to send your way. So great.
Awesome. I love it. Do you guys have any other resources that you've been seeing that would be useful to share? Like Jason, I love that you were sharing that idea about the coloring contest a few minutes ago, right? Even something like that is awesome. You can share that. Starting Facebook groups, right? Darcy, you guys started a local group to help people. You can share. I mean, obviously, with your other local people, it's hard to tell everyone locally. Start your own group, but people in other markets, right? There's things you can share to connect. It's just ways to add value to continue to drop where you're not always like, hey, want to talk about EXP? How's it going? How's your brokerage? Want to talk more EXP? I mean, I've just been literally, that's all I've been doing is calling people, reaching out, and making it a point to call a couple a day. I got my list back together, call a couple a day, and guess what, guys? People are still joining EXP, even now, right? I think I had about 4 people added to my revenue share group in the last week, so it's not a huge amount, but not bad. And I've got a team of 10 people that are coming on that are underneath someone else I sponsored. So I think I talked to them once, but he's bringing them on, and they're talking about coming over like now. I mean, even though it's Darcy and I have someone that, this is something that happens often too, by the way, guys, that Darcy had someone reach out to them. They reached out to me. They reached out to both of us. And so Darcy and I started talking to them together. And guess what? They're still talking about coming over even now with everything going on in the world. Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, that's cool.
and I
Well,
think
there's
Darcy,
something
go
that
ahead.
you could point out right now to a lot of people too. I was just thinking about with that is if people are slowing down because of this and not everywhere's treating it the same way, the best time to change a company is when you don't have a bunch of business in the pipeline.
Exactly.
Well, I
Right.
think there's that, and there's also, if they don't have a lot of business, they are really focused on price, and that can really influence them too, the other revenue stream.
So I have a couple of videos I want to play today because I wanted you guys to hear from some different voices other than mine all the time. And I think I found a couple that you probably haven't seen or heard. They're short little clips. But I want to see, do you guys have any questions or things that are on your mind that you wanted to chat about today before I watch each of these? I want to watch them and then discuss it and see what takeaways you get from each one. But any questions you guys wanted to chat about today, or just kind of here to check in, get connected, get excited? What do you guys need this week?
Trying to go to church to re-up the faith.
Let's do it. Dude, you know what I did before this? I went for a run and watched EXP videos while running. That's talking about going to church, right? Building that faith. That's just, every time I do it, I'm like, wait, this company really is amazing. So one of the clips I want to show you, just listening to these people talk, you're like, man, this really is an amazing opportunity that we've stumbled into, either on purpose or by accident or divine intervention, whatever you want to call it. I really am grateful for this company. So just so I can share with you guys, I don't think we talk about revenue share numbers that much on these calls, but I mean, I'm only about a year into EXP, and you know, I had these ideas. I thought it was going to be bigger, faster, and I'm still pretty happy though. So I'm at this month, I'm at about just under, albeit probably actually in that another week it'll keep going up, but I'm about $8,000 for the month, which is pretty good after a year. Mike Bjorkman, who's about 6 months ahead of me, he's at 22,000 this month. I think right now, let me look at the screenshot he sent me. It's on my phone. I can't share the screen, but he's about 22,000 at about a year and a half in. Pretty good for given that we've got a pandemic in the world shutting us down, right? And if 6 months from now, I mean, if no one's selling any houses anywhere, yeah, sure, that'll affect our revenue share. But the beauty of this is, as you grow your revenue share group, you're diversifying. It's a way that it's not just reliant on your market and your own personal production. It really is helping to add another level of security, which to me, when I realized that, I was like, wow, I'm making $8,000 this month. That's on top of, you know, selling any houses. That's pretty darn good. And it's just continuing to go up as we enter spring. So I'm very grateful when I saw that. I don't look at it that often anymore. I'm just like, whoa, that's amazing. All right, so let's check out, let's watch this video here. This is a woman named Shireen Duncan. I don't think anybody was at the event in Scottsdale in 2019. Was anyone at the event in Scottsdale in 2019? Were you at that one, Jason? No. And Theodos, you came, your first one was Vegas, right? All right, so no, I don't think anyone's heard this or seen this. This is a woman that, you know, she's a decent producer. I'm gonna play one, I'm gonna play two. The second video I'm gonna play is from a guy who was brand new to real estate. Because I think it's interesting to hear someone having success on recruitment who was literally had sold like 0 houses, and his partner, maybe over the course of the first year and a half in real estate, he sold 4 houses, okay? So someone with 0 credibility in real estate, what he did and some takeaways that he has. This first person, she'd actually sold some houses, but she has a different take on it than some of the stuff we talk about. So let me share my screen here. And as you watch this, guys, I want you to take notes, write down anything that jumps out to you, and we'll kind of talk about any takeaways that you guys get from this thing.
Okay, so next speaker is from the Hawaiian Islands. She's a rock star, big time superstar for Keller Williams, now at EXP. I'll let her tell you the story of how she is taking over all of them. Help me welcome from Honolulu, Hawaii, Shireen Duncan. Give her a hand, everyone.
It is, like you said.
I have no idea why he has me speaking, I'll tell you that. I think it's because we knew each other when we were 20 years old. But I'll tell you, I'm really humbled to be here. I'm so humbled. I have met other stories in this room that I think have done amazing things, much bigger than me. But I will share from my heart. I definitely have an approach to EXP that I love sharing. So thank you for letting me share that. I kind of was born into real estate. Quick story, my parents, even my grandparents were realtors. I knew escrow and what it was all about probably by 5. I'm not kidding. At least I definitely knew when one fell out, what that meant. It was bad. So, so I kind of grew up in it, and then I went on to owning a mortgage company. That was really most of my career. Then I went on to managing, actually being a sales rep for Fidelity National Title, because when '07 happened and I got out of the mortgage industry, I was like, I'm gonna quit, I'm retiring, 40 years old. And then changed into just thinking, I'm gonna move to Tahoe and ski, became a sales rep because that would be easy, which it really, really was. I love realtors, I have no problem relating with them. So I did that for a little while, then I became the sales manager for Hawaii. That's what took me there 7 years ago. Did that for 2 years. That's just not fun. I'm used to being on 100% commission. I actually am okay with that. So I went to back to selling homes, or for the first time selling homes 5 years ago. Knew what I had to do. I knew I had to get a marketing plan and work it, that's all. And so I did, and have done really well with real estate. And it's so funny because I'm a third-generation realtor, but there's just no end game. My dad's 78. He still sells houses. You guys might know him, Tyner Properties in Sacramento. But it's so funny because it's just been generations of this with no end game. And I was so, so grateful that somebody shared with me, and it was a really random thing that happened. Some of you know my story. I got, a Facebook stalker. Where is he? That goes by the name of the Japanese Cowboy, which actually was so funny because I saw that, and there was a guy that had been showing a couple of my listings, and he was a Japanese Cowboy. So I thought that's who was sending me this message, and I had to be nice because I want him to bring his fire and buy one of these listings I had. And so I was like, he said, hey, how you doing, Shireen? Have you heard about, this revolutionary, would you be interested in looking at this revolutionary real estate idea? Something like that. And I'm an open-minded, nice person, so I'm like, yeah, sure. And he had to follow up with me for 3.5 months saying, did you watch that video? Did you watch that video? Finally, I felt so bad. I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it tonight, I promise. We still haven't spoken, I don't think. I just emailed him back, and then I watched Rob Flick's about 45-minute video, and he mentioned Brent Gove on it. I was like, Brent? So I picked up my phone, I called Brent, and I said, Brent, what is this? And he says, oh yeah, what are you doing real estate, aren't you? I was thinking you're in the mortgage business. And so then I talked to him. I respect Brent. I've known him a long time. I respect him so much as a person and a real estate agent. So I was in. I texted Chris, the Japanese cowboy I'd never met, and said, I'm in capital letters. And so that's how I got involved. But I will say, and I cannot thank him enough, if I start getting into that, I'll be like Brent and I'll start crying like he does about Sheila. So I'm not going to talk about that anymore. Really grateful because it seriously changed my life, truly changed my life. The opportunity everybody in this room has just for doing the simple thing as moving your license to EXP just gave you unlimited opportunity. We're so brand new. This is such a new company, and I truly believe in attracting agents. I would love for the industry out there, the world, the U.S., to see EXP agents as the best agents they've ever worked with, ever. I don't want them to see us as insurance people trying to sell them car insurance and a lot of cold calling. I really believe that when you're in a transaction with another agent, be the most amazing agent they've ever worked with. They are your $2 million listing. I mean, your buyers and sellers, they go away, but that other agent is your next best prospect you've ever had. So I really think surprise them. Show up in their office. That's what I do. And if it's a woman, I show up with a big thing of flowers and I give her a big hug and she's like, what? And everybody in the whole office is like, what? I'm still a title rep at heart. And It surprises them, and it makes a difference. And if you think that after you've done that, they're not going to want to sit down and have coffee with you and learn about your company, you're wrong, because they will. They'll call you. They want to be with you. They'll want to spend time with you. And then you can share from your heart this company that has changed your life, and it will change theirs. And nobody you ever share this with is going to come back to you and say, I wish you hadn't shared it. They're only going to say, I wish you had shared it sooner. So get out of your comfort zone and call those people and set up those meetings and be that person that attracts other people. More of the agents that I've brought on have called me than I've called them. And I know that won't always happen, but if you really become that person that is the best agent they've met out there, they will be calling you and saying, what is this EXP? What a stupid name for a company. What is it? And it's like, this will change your life. You ready? So relentless pursuit, you guys. Just keep doing a little bit every day. I say make those calls. Don't be afraid of the telephone. It's so easy to text. It's so easy to send emails, Facebook messages. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, Chris. But I'm just saying, just talk to people and just be a person that other agents want to be like, and change everybody's life. We have so much potential here, you guys. So much potential. I will say it's expensive to live in Hawaii, to say the least. You can buy a gallon of milk for $8, and it's seriously ridiculous. But you know that knot, and don't lie to me, everyone in this room has had that knot in their stomach about their pipeline. What's my income in 3 months? You know, who's my next buyer and seller? It's there. It's just something that comes with being a realtor, and it doesn't go away until you know that on the 22nd of the month, your bills are paid. But that knot goes away, and that's the best thing that's happened to me. Thanks.
All right, guys, what'd you take away from that one? I got my notes. I've watched that twice now today. So what'd you take away, if anything?
One of mine was that she just seems really nice, and
right?
how important it is. And it's funny, Missy texted me during the video. She's like, shit, now I have to be nice to other agents.
It's a reason to be nice. And here's the thing, guys. The reason I chose that one is because isn't she really different than almost all of the other like big EXP people that talk and speak? And she's just a nice person. Like, Darcy?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I like that she seems genuine as opposed to a salesperson. Whereas a lot of the people that get up there, I mean, all right, I love Mike Bjorkman. Absolutely adore him. But he can come across as a douchey salesman. Like, we all know this. You can tell him I said that. That's cool.
It's being recorded. He'll fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's cool. But I adore him, right?
Right.
But it's because I know him that I adore him.
Right.
So the first time I watched Brent Groom, I mean, I even told you this, Jesse. I was like, yeah, he's a salesman. I'm not listening to a word he says. Like, he's too much of a salesman. Where she comes across as the lady that lives next door that you want to sit down and have a bottle of wine with. And it's that genuine piece that makes you listen to her and believe her.
And everyone finds someone different to connect with and what works for them. I wanted you guys to see something very different, right? So did you notice her numbers that were on the screen, Darcy?
I did not.
So her numbers were posted from, she joined in September of 2016. And this video, when was Scottsdale leadership? Was sometime mid 20. So probably she was about 3 years in, just under probably 2.5 years in, 3 years into her EXP career. See, how do I get it? I can't find the date that quickly. Yeah, it says January. Oh yeah, no, it was posted in she's about 2.5 years in. So 2.5 years in, she has 23 frontline and 190 total in her group, in her revenue share group. That's going to equal about $10,000 a month is my guess. Could even be higher, but my guess is it's about 10 grand a month. It's not bad, right?
That's awesome. I also love that she mentioned she just shows up and brings flowers to other agents that she's done stuff with, or just shows up now. obviously just showing up at their office can be a little bit rough because a lot of people don't actually work at their office.
Right.
But I love that idea of treat the people that you're doing business with as your clients. Give them a closing gift.
Yep. Yeah.
Brady and I have.
Missy, you're on mute.
Oh, go ahead, Megan, and then go ahead, Missy. Go ahead, Megan.
I was just gonna say, Brady and I have. What? We're eating an orange over here, so we're covered in orange over here.
Oh yeah.
Brady and I have been sending handwritten note cards, which isn't a gift, but it's something that makes it, you know, a little bit different than every other agent. And we were just doing that initially because, you know, in a competitive market, we want to be able to have the advantage on if we bring an offer to someone. Something else that we had thought about doing was like a luncheon at the end of the year with all of the agents that we've done deals with.
Yeah, we have a friend who's not an EXP, runs an independent brokerage that actually does that once a quarter. They have a quarterly drawing for everyone. They do it on a brokerage level. Anyone who's done a deal with any of the agents in their brokerage, they enter them in the drawing and they give away a big prize. So you could scale it down, obviously, and do a different way, but anyone you do a deal with, you could do something that way as well.
Pretty cool.
I love it. Missy, what were you going to say before? You're on mute yourself.
Wait, hold on.
I got you. You're unmuted.
Thanks. Yeah, for me, that was a big aha moment, just the idea of the relationship piece with other agents, because like Darcy said, I mean, that truly is, that's if you treat them like a client, it's a whole different picture being an EXP, which is what makes it so amazing for our group. But yeah, have not really thought about it from that perspective. And I really like that, Darcy, see them as your client as well.
Yeah, I love it. And here's my favorite thing that I took away.
I'm just so excited. I just got into a mutual on a house.
Yay!
Sorry. That's exciting because my first one since this whole shitstorm has started.
That is exciting.
That's awesome.
Absolutely exciting.
Yeah.
And you guys were the start of it. So she's up in Seattle. So yeah, no, but Missy, you're spot on. Like it's not that every agent is an opportunity. I mean, it is that every agent's an opportunity, but it's more just that like you're building relationships. There's a reason now to talk to agents. And I love what she said in the middle of the video. My big takeaway when I saw it the second time was no one will ever be upset with you for sharing this with them, right? The people who don't want to know it, you're not even gonna go there. So it doesn't matter. But anyone who actually watches it, no one's gonna be mad. They're like, why did you make me? Like people, when they get it, they're grateful. And if they're not ready, they go, okay, cool, at least I know what it is. But you'd be surprised how many people. I talked to a buddy I haven't talked to in, gosh, it must be 5 years. He texted me yesterday. He was reaching out about some things. Another agent from Northern California, and we were talking. He's like, yeah. So what's up in your world? I see, you're still doing the EXP thing, right? On, with Golden and Bjorkman on Facebook. I was like, yeah. Like, what's your take on EXP? He's like, I don't know. It's not really in my world these days. I'm like, what do you know about it? And he didn't know anything. Like literally nothing. He's like, I don't know. Nothing. He's like, he was neutral on it. You start to think that the whole world, because you talk to a few people and they've all been hit up and no one wants to know about it. But there's a whole world of people that have no idea about this company, right? Don't know what it is. They might think they know, but they actually don't. They might know a little bit, but they really don't know anything. So we chatted for like 30 seconds about EXP. And then we told him the little high level things, like, that's kind of cool. I'm like, yeah, if you want to talk about it, dude. And then we talked about a bunch of other things. And I said, look, you want to talk about it? Happily sit down. And he's like, yeah, give me some information. I mean, I'm probably not ready for now, given he's going into syndication and multi-unit stuff. But he said, I'll check it out. Who knows, right? I'll watch a video with him happily. Not the worst 30 minutes of my day? No, it's a good 30 minutes. I get to hang out with my buddy, watch something I like. All right, any other takeaways from that video? Go ahead, Megan.
Well, I was just going to go off of what you're saying too, is that I think sometimes we end up over complicating it and making it so like we have to explain EXP, this whole company, and really it's a brokerage where people can practice real estate. So sometimes I think we are the ones who are like, well, did you know about the stock? And did you know about the rev share? And did you know about, where people are just like, well, you have extra technology and KV4, cool, I'll sign up. So,
Yep.
It has to be a great thing.
I love it. All right, I got one more clip. Are you guys okay with me playing the clip?
Yeah.
Cool. Has anyone listened to anything from Sean Sturrock and Bill Rawhauser yet? You stumbled upon any clips by these guys? All right, cool. So Sean was never in real estate, and neither was his business partner, Bill. Okay? These guys, I want to play this because even though everyone on this call, I think all you guys have been doing real estate for a while, you might have sponsored someone who's brand new to real estate, or maybe you're talking to someone who is newer, and it doesn't have to be brand new, but someone newer who doesn't have the credibility, right? Doesn't have the name recognition in the town. And I want to show you what's possible from someone that is really brand new. And I've actually used this clip, by the way, guys, to send to people that are either newer to real estate or just thinking about the people that say to me, well, Jesse, EXP is great for you, but it's not going to work for me, right? So I said, check this out. Look at what someone can do who has no background in real estate, which is pretty amazing. So let's check this one out. And this one's a little longer clip. So wave your hands, flag me down if you want me to stop it before the end, because I want to have a chance to talk about these for a few minutes before the top of the hour. So just wave me down if you guys want to jump in and chat about it anytime. If you're liking it, I'll let it keep rolling. So here's this one.
And Jesse, can you put these links in that group?
I sure will. I'll give you direct links. And these both come from the Brent Gove resources page from some of the event videos. There's so many event videos. I've watched a lot of them, so I'll give you some of the good ones. I know it's hard to find stuff on that page.
Yeah, it's just easier if you throw them in the,
100%. I'll throw them in the fast start thing. Yep,
Thanks.
100% I will. All right.
All right, our next speakers are from Dallas, Texas. I remember when I met Sean, I heard him speak, and I'm like, this guy's a stud. He has sponsored 31 personals. He's actually had 2 more sign up this week. He's at 33, 653 in his organization, headed to 6,000. Been in the business, I don't know, a year and a half, something like that. Help me welcome from Dallas, Fort Worth area, Texas, Sean Sturrock. Give him a hand, everybody.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Humbled to be here. Holy smoke. There's people in here selling tons and tons of real estate, and man, my hat's off to you. So I'm gonna, it's a little different story on this right here, and trust me, I'm gonna give thanks to the good Lord, because I'm all about blessing other agents, and I do my approach a little bit different, but let me give you a quick little background to how I kind of got here real quick, and then I'm gonna go into what I think, for some agents in this room, this could be very beneficial, because a lot of folks who don't have a tremendous amount of credibility in real estate might need some fundamental things to do on what you might need to do to build a revenue share. So very quickly, come from a corporate America background for about 21 years, and then got into the world of direct sales for about 11 or 12 years, because I was looking for one thing. I was working my butt off 60, 70 hours a week, looking to get off of that train, and got into the direct sales world, worked my tail off, and did that and got to where I could go full time. And I've lived a passive lifestyle for about 10 years, but I'd never knocked it out of the park. And just was, found myself about 2 years ago, kept telling my wife, man, I got to diversify, I got to do something else, multiple streams of revenue. And everything kept steering me back to real estate. And so I decided, you know what, I got to go get my real estate license. Long story short, ended up getting our real estate license in April. And I'm going to introduce you here in a few minutes to my business partner and let him share with you kind of how it all happened. But I'm just going to say it's a God thing that we're even here, because it has changed our life in a big, big way. So I say that to kind of set this up. I'm coming to you late in the game to real estate. And for those that, please don't throw anything at me, I've only sold 4 properties in the last 16 months. So the money that I'm creating is, I feel like I'm doing like some of you have said, I feel like I'm blessing other agents. When I saw this model, I was smart enough to go, I'd already looked at about 6 different brokerages in DFW when I was looking around. When I saw this model, I went, oh my gosh, you know how many agents I could bless across the U.S. if they just knew this existed? And I feel like God had gifted me in a way to be able to reach out to people and just get them to see it. I don't cold call. I've never made a cold call. Most of the names, I knew 6 agents when I started. I showed 6 of them, 4 of them signed up. From that point on, I just started to reach out to every friend I have, right? Just shoot them a quick text message. Hey, who do you know? Well, first of all, I'd say, hey, how are you doing? Hope the family's blessed. Who do you know in your area that's a really good quality agent? They'd give me a name. I'd call it. I would drop the other person's name. We'd talk about how they know the relationship. And then I would go into what I have to offer them. And I would simply go to set up a meeting. So I say that just to be, I know I'm in a position now that once we get up to 50 is our goal, to put in 50 personals, we're going to start to also work on the back end of selling real estate. So I'm kind of going the back way right? Because we want to get everything set up with the foundation for our families and all that stuff. So I say that, I'm going to have to throw these glasses on. Has anybody reached the age of 52 where you're going, I just need them for reading. If I go like that, you're blurry, but I need it to read, so I'm kind of going to have to look like a granny or a grandpa up here, so bear with me. Okay, so I wrote down very quickly, and let me also say this. I know we can all say it, but I'm very humbled that we found out about this thing on Friday, and I'm sure Brent's probably thinking I shouldn't have said this last thing to Sean after he asked would I come out and speak, and at the very end he said, and if you want to grab a few of your, your leaders and stuff, and I think we now have like 24 people out here, so he's probably like, God, why did I say that to this guy? We're not on the same team, so God bless you, brother, for letting us be out here, because he's helped me with several calls too, and doesn't benefit from it at all, other than all of us sell more real estate, but good chance the stock's going up, so man, hats off to you, brother. So very quickly, if I don't tremble also, believe it or not, I've done public speaking, but this is a little crazy because I just feel like I'm coming through the back door. This is a little odd. So let me give you what I think, though, for some of you guys in here, I'm assuming a lot of agents have come over that have never attracted agents, right? You just came over, you weren't a team leader, you weren't a broker. So I was just thinking as I was flying over on the flight going, what could I do that could possibly bless some of you that are sitting here going, God, I've been doing this for 3 months. I've attracted 2 agents. How do people do this? What are they doing? So I just wrote down 5 fundamentals that I just think 5 steps that I think some of you this could possibly benefit. So the very first one, real fundamental, but this is real. This is like a business plan within your real estate plan. You got to make a list. You got to make a real estate list of names. And here's what I mean by that. Every one of you can probably come up with 50 names pretty easy. Those of you who've been in the real estate business a while, I would say even come up with 100 if you can, and here's why. If you don't, and you just jot down the first 10 people that come to mind, and those are the ones who you're going to call, when you call the first 5, if 2 don't answer and the other 3 decide not to do it for whatever reason, you're down to the next 5. When you go to make that next call, it's not going to come from a place of strength. And you're going to start to almost be needy. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I made the right move. Maybe you were thinking the rev share is going to work. And now all of a sudden, you don't sound the same on the phone because you need them to come join this business. So I would tell you to make a bigger list of names, because then if you call 5 and you got 95 left, if the first 5 didn't say yes, you still come from a place of, well, okay, wait a sec. As long as you're learning from every call, if it doesn't work or something, just get off the call and go, what could I have done better? And maybe have someone who you can powwow with. Okay, that'd be my first one. Let me not switch here because I got to keep pulling up my power. Hold on. Okay, so that's number 1, right? Make a big list. Number 2, this is big. Set aside a specific time each week to make phone calls. Treat it like a listing appointment. I've got so many agents on my team now, when I'll ask, well, how's it going, man? Have you had a chance to kind of reach out and share with you? Man, I've just been so busy, man. I keep meaning to, and so forth. When I first got started with Rob's, the one who introduced us to this, and God bless you, bro. My hat will be off. You've changed our life big time. But I'll tell people, treat it like a listing appointment. So maybe that's 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, or maybe you take 2.5 hours a week, or 2.5 hours 1 day a week is what I prefer to do. If I was in your situation, I was a very busy agent, I'd rather get into a rhythm, right? If I'm going to make calls to agents, let me do 2.5 hours at one time. But whatever that time slot is for you, it's a listing appointment. You can't miss it. For those that are maybe struggling that can't build the rev share because you're too busy, it's just prioritized, right? So treat it like a listing. Number 3, reason for your phone call is simply to get them to see a presentation. Less is more. For those that have never built teams, that is key words right there. Someone else said it a few minutes ago. Less is more. So your whole goal every time you're talking to anybody is to keep it as short and sweet as you can and get their eyes on the presentation. Right? Whether or not you're going to do a Zoom meeting, whether you're going to shoot over the presentation. Let me stop there for a minute. This is just me, again, not having tremendous credibility with realtors. When I set up a meeting, because I have a little more time, but some of you guys might be able to do this, I prefer to control when they see it. Again, the only reason I've learned that is if I shoot the video over to someone to watch it, now I feel like I'm in chase mode. Okay, did they watch it? Most of the time people aren't going to watch it when they say it. Okay, now I look like I need them again. I'm trying to chase them down. So every time, or at least 8 out of 10 times I set up a meeting, I set up a Zoom meeting. I control when they're going to see it. And I get on the phone, I take 30 minutes with them. And then when I get to the presentation, so and I don't want to go into the details of all this. We trained on something different in California, when we were down in Puerto Vallarta. But something, I just lost my train of thought by throwing that darn thing out, darn. Yeah. Set up a Zoom meeting. Every time, this is just my opinion again, take this for what it's worth for some of you guys. If you can, I would try to press play on the video instead of go through a PowerPoint. if there's one thing I learned in building teams over 12 years is you want to overcome objections that possibly could come up in someone's mind. Well, if you're cruising through a PowerPoint yourself, the person could be sitting there going, God, I could never speak like that guy's speaking, or I could never learn everything, or I don't want to learn everything he just went through. So I try to press play on a video. If you got to go through a PowerPoint, there's times you got to, right? You're sitting at a Starbucks, the environment's not right, you'll never want to make anybody uncomfortable. I'll always say to them, if I'm going to go through a PowerPoint, hey, real quick, everything I'm about to go through with you here, we have recorded webinars of people doing the exact same thing I'm going to do. But because of the environment, it's kind of noisy. I just want to walk you through this. But I want to make you sure you know that it's all on a recording. Cool? Again, I don't want them thinking while they're watching it going, is this what I'd have to do if I reached out to other agents? Number 4, right? So 3 was reason for the phone calls to show the presentation. Number 4, after the presentation, 3 things. Answer questions, tell stories, cast vision. Answer questions, it's obvious, right? But if there's another thing that I think we've learned from building teams, facts tell, stories sell. People want to hear about other people like them that are winning. If they came from a similar brokerage, if they do it with the same amount of volume, whatever it is, if you can share stories that can relate with them and make them feel like they could win at this, your chances go up tremendously. So just remember, facts tell, stories sell, cast vision into them. Right? If I'm talking to an agent who does 10 million, I'm going to start telling stories of other people like them and what's happened in the last year or two since they've come on board. And I give the example all the time. She's not here right now, but don't know. Some of you might know Sherry Elliott. So she's in my backyard. She does about 30 million a year. Well, Sherry Elliott now is in her 25th month. Her stock alone, now she does 30 million a year. Her stock alone, by taking advantage of our program now at around $16, is at $1 million. She came from Keller Williams, so I'll always tell the story and I'll reverse it after I say it. And I'll say, in other words, if Sherry Elliott would not have made the move over here 2 years ago, she would have missed out on $1 million. So if I'm talking to someone that does 10 million, I say, so hypothetically, let's just go backwards. Had you joined us 2 years ago, you would have about a third of that. Come over here, you would have had in just the last 2 years approximately $333,000 in stock by doing exactly what you've been doing anyway. So I will sometimes try to drive that home with someone. Obviously, we can't do it from the front of the room at a lunch and learn. I don't know about you, but I feel pretty confident we're going to go over $100 in stock. Right? This is me up at the front of the room. So when I'm talking to someone one-on-one, I am going to drive that home because some people will come over and just will not be able to recruit. It just won't happen for them. I've got a lady who joined my team who does about 10 million a year. And that's exactly what I keep. She wants to build the rev shares so bad it's not happening. I keep telling her, I said, listen, just do what you've been doing. I said, you're going to look up in 2 to 3 years, and I will be shocked if you don't have several $100,000 in savings just by doing what you've been doing. And she came over from an independent broker. So anyway, so that's just some of the things right there. So that was number 4 after the presentation. Number 5, set the next appointment. Whoever this beast is that's closing somebody every darn day, I feel like this is an evaluation process. I'm always trying to take the person who saw it, and now I'm going to help them evaluate it at their speed. Whether it's 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, I'm going to help them evaluate it. But the most important thing you can do after they see the presentation, you've answered questions, you've done cast vision, and you've done the telling stories and so forth. Before you get off the phone or before you leave that one-on-one or that lunch and learn with that person, you better set up the next agreed-upon meeting, whether or not that's a 3-way call with someone who's at least similar to them or bigger than them, whether it's maybe getting into the cloud and taking them on a tour, whether you did a webinar one-on-one, you want to take them to a lunch and learn, set up the next meeting, because here's what I see happens. If you don't do it, out of sight, out of mind, you're talking to a real busy agent. They like it, they're enthused, they're like, yeah, send me some information over, and you send it over thinking, man, this is awesome, I know they're going to want to join. The moment they walk out of there, they're thrown right back into the fire. Right? And they start, and every day that goes by, they forget half of what they saw. 2 days are down to a quarter of it. 3 days are down to, by the time they're 4 or 5 days out, they forgot a lot of it, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, what's going on? They're just busy with their world, whether it's family, real estate, whatever. You finally try to reach back out a week later, whatever, leave a voicemail, a text, you follow me, all of a sudden they're going to be thinking, they may shoot you a text back. I've had it happen for people that didn't do that, going, hey, you know what, man, I'm just going to stay where I'm at. I mean, everything's good. Did you hear somebody a few minutes say, a second ago, I love it because I keep hearing this. I don't know if it's a true statement. 3 out of 10 people at any given time as a realtor are unhappy with something about their brokerage, right? 3 out of 10. I don't know if you guys heard those kind of numbers. I don't know where that's coming from. But someone else said the other 7 out of 10, they don't know what they don't know. If you can be the one who gets good at getting them to see it, you may change their entire life. So even though I don't come from a place of real estate, I know that I know that I know, because I got friends in real estate who work like a slave. They are working nonstop, and I'm watching their lives get turned around in this thing. They're starting to slowly buy their life back. I don't want to point him out, but we got a bunch of agents here, but I got one guy in here, you'll hear from him tomorrow, or maybe I think today, because he came onto my team. He's now changed my life and has allowed my confidence to go up to reach out to other agents, because this guy's a monster, and you'll hear from him in a few minutes as well. But anyway, those are my 5 things. I've got different stuff. I don't want to tie up more of what we say when we call people on the phone. Don't want to get that detailed. We can talk about that kind of stuff later on breaks. What I want to do real quick, not to have
All right, so he goes on, he brings up his business partner. I just want to check in here because we only got a few minutes at the top of the hour. I'll post a link so you guys can watch the end of it, because his business partner, it's funny. This guy's the organization guy. The business partner is the generous. He's all heart. The other guy was a chiropractor, never sold a house either in his life. And they recruit together, which I think is amazing, because the other guy's he just loves people. His business partner calls up at the end. What did you guys take away from that? If anything.
Well, I only saw parts of it because somebody was distracting me with not knowing how to do a math work.
I'm sorry, I'll work on my math skills next time.
Right. But you know, I think it's just the keep it simple, have confidence, and create action.
He says the same things as just about everybody else. Isn't that interesting?
He does.
It works. That's why I wanted you to play it. Like, it's the same stuff I've been telling you, other people have been telling you here in every video. Like, it literally is that same stuff. So what Michael, I see your wheels spinning. What did you take away?
Yeah, it is just more of the same stuff, make a list and keep calling them. Yeah.
Here's the one thing that jumped out to me, because it is the same stuff, but there's every little thing that comes out. Missy's got something actually too. Missy, what'd you got?
I kind of was reflecting on the fact that they were talking about how it's not necessarily for everyone, so those people that it doesn't come to also naturally, it's even more important to, kind of step outside of that box and feed off of other people, build your confidence, make that list, where other people and it's going to reach different people. Everybody's going to reach, somebody different.
Right. And when you say build confidence, this is the one thing I wanted to clarify, because I sat next to Sean at an event just randomly. So by the way, this video is from when he's about a year and a half into EXP. He's at about 650 odd people, and his business partner gets up on the stage at the end, and he says shares that their last revenue share check was $31,000 for the month. So at 650 people, they're making about $30,000 a month, which is pretty darn good. Right?
I would build my confidence.
Right?
Yeah.
But here's the deal. When they say build confidence, did you notice what he's building confidence in? Because to me, it's not building confidence in what he's saying. What he's building confidence in is that EXP is an amazing opportunity. He used a phrase that I've heard a number of other people use, even in other industries, which he says, and whether you're religious or not, doesn't matter to me. Put your own verbiage in this, but he says, I feel like I'm blessing agents by sharing this with them. I'm just going on and because he has such a faith or a confidence and a belief that this opportunity is so incredible that by sharing it with someone else, it's changing their life. And every single person you hear talk on stage at any of these events says something along that line. So it's not the confidence in what they say, because you heard the first woman who spoke. She's not a dynamic speaker. She's not terrible. She's just a nice person. Right? This guy's has done a little more public speaking, but he's still a very just comfortable person, right? There's different personality types. It's not their confidence level, it's the confidence of their faith in the company. Is that making sense, guys?
Yeah, their confidence in the company.
Yeah.
When you get to the point that you know that by sharing this opportunity, you are potentially changing someone's life. I don't know if you heard David Golden say this. David Golden, I remember before I joined, used to say it all the time, and I didn't get it. I was with the company for probably 8 months before that even clicked with me. Like, I'd started attracting some people, but like finally it clicked where I was like, and I forget it from time to time where I go back and I don't really want to talk to people about it. And I get shy. I'm like, I don't want to talk to the XP. Usually I like talking about it, but I don't want to reach out and open new conversations. It's not always a fun, exciting thing. But when I realized, I'm like, no, by sharing this, like I could really change their life. Like getting $8,000, $10,000, $20,000, getting $31,000 a month would change most people's lives. That's the opportunity that you have and that you're giving to people. That to me is the biggest takeaway from this video. Yeah.
It's
Darcy?
almost as high as my first annual salary.
Right? Is that crazy? That's the world we live in now. That's the world of this company. That's the world of EXP. So I'm going to post this link in the group. You want to finish watching as maybe another, having another, I think, let's see here, another 5 minutes left on it. So you can check it out. You got about 5 minutes left. You want to watch it in the video. But reach out to me, guys. Ask me questions. If you have anyone who wants a three-way call, wants to chat, just excuses. We started this call with the reasons to touch people, just kind of reach out and things to offer value. You got all sorts of takeaways from this call.
Absolutely.
Good to see your faces. Love to connect with you guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, good to see you guys. Thank you for sharing. Let me know how I can help you guys.
Alrighty.
See you next
Bye,
week.
guys.
See ya.
And Missy, don't forget to be nice to agents. Bye, guys.